Welcome to the Reseller Island podcast, episode 2 with the new crew. My name is Jake J. Wright Flips, and I have my co-host below me.
Soda City Flips, Shane. What's up, y'all?
And my other co-host to the left or right of me, depending on how you're looking at the screen.
Yep. What's up, guys? Keith, Vintage Sport Flips. How's it going?
Awesome. And we are the Reseller Island podcast. We understand that reselling can be inherently lonely. So we wanted to put together a podcast of fellow resellers that you guys can listen to while you work and hang out with and feel like you're a part of a community. So the majority of us, all of us, sell a lot of crap on eBay. How has eBay been going for you guys this week?
Pretty steady for me. I mean, I know it's been a lull with this year compared to last year, but I get several orders a day, which is nice coming in. Pretty steady.
Yeah, it's pretty much been the same for me. And it's funny, Keith, that you mentioned the lull, right? January and February. I keep hearing, how bad January and February could be for everybody. Well, last year and the year before, I wasn't full time. I had a full time job and I had a steady, six. I had a good paycheck. I'll put it that way. And I didn't notice how bad January and February were till this year when I'm full time reseller. I'm like, okay, now I see what everybody's talking about. The sales are definitely a good bit slower than what I'm used to. So it has been steady though, and I decided yesterday to put my store on sale, like a markdown sale for the entire store. And man, the sales are banging through the
There you
past
go.
since yesterday morning. Man, they're coming in hot. So it's been kind of cool to see that working so fast.
What'd you mark them down to?
I did 25% on everything.
It's
Oh,
a
nice.
nice steep sale.
Yeah.
For me,
So
I wonder if it's like a balance because I've been doing so much live streaming on District that I wonder if it's a balance for me is like paying attention to my listing and doing live streaming. It's a fine balance for me to keep feeding eBay to keep those orders coming in too. But
yeah,
still
I've
working on that
considered
balance.
that as well because I'm new to the live selling. So I've put a lot of focus on that lately, and I've wondered if that's part of the hindrance I'm dealing with eBay. Um, but I mean that money on the live selling has made up for what I've been
Oh, yeah.
losing on eBay. But basically, my whole reason for putting a markdown on my store is I got the Kentucky Derby coming up, and
Nice.
again, I'm used to having that big fat paycheck every week, so I never stressed. I knew I could always go up to Kentucky Derby, spend the 4 days up there, and have a blast. And this year, it's looking like, okay, I'm going to be able to go
That's
get
gonna be a
into
bit
the
stressful.
Derby, yeah,
Yeah.
and not going to have casino money basically.
Uh,
So I was like, I better get some sales coming in and grind some stuff out just to make sure I have some play money because I don't want to just go up there and hang out in the hotel.
Yeah.
yeah.
We stay
Maybe some
at the
flea markets up there.
casino. Yeah, and we stay at the casino. So, and then we play golf on Friday, things like that. The casino comps at pretty much everything we do, except gambling. We get a little bit of you know stuff on the card there, but not enough to play all weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just got back from Las Vegas. Speaking of casinos,
Yep.
shout out to Archie Biscuit Butt. He
Absolutely.
got the comps on the Sunset Station on the border of Las Vegas and Henderson. Went with my wife
Nice.
and my mother-in-law. It was a good time. We got a lot of really good stuff to sell on eBay and first class treasures and all that. It's good stuff.
Awesome.
Nice. Did you hit a lot of outdoor flea markets? I know we were trying to get some sun out there. Did you hit a lot of outdoor markets too, or is it
Yeah, I
mostly
went to
Goodwills?
the Boulder flea market because Friday, like school is still in session, so there were like maybe 5 Friday yard sales within like a 25-mile radius. I drove all
Okay.
up and down those streets, couldn't find too many. But then I went to the Boulder City flea market and I found I found like 6 digital cameras, all worth about $30 to $80 each, and 3 Walkmans.
Nice.
And all 9 of those units worked. It's awesome.
Oh wow.
Usually
Yeah,
for
that's
flea
good.
Nice.
markets, it's like 40%. So that was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a killer.
But yeah, it was just good to get some sun. But I finally got my passport in today, so
Ah,
Nice.
I just rebooked the Mexico trip. It's gonna be nice.
there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah,
How
much
long you got
needed.
to wait now?
So now we're gonna go in about 2 weeks.
Oh,
Oh,
that's not
nice.
bad.
Yeah. So that'll be good. We're super excited. We need the sun. We need the little vacay. It'll be good.
Yeah, and you get the flea markets down there, and you can film at. You said right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
excited
yeah,
for that. The
yeah,
little tianguis.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
But yeah, speaking of sales, so one of the questions that I get asked the most is, do I do markdowns or do I delist, relist? What do you guys do?
For me, I don't delist and relist at all. I want to start doing that. Maybe have my wife start to do a little of that because I think that's an area that she could help me with. I know. I saw your videos, Jake, where you like presented the numbers when the percentage of items that sold like a month after you delisted and relisted. So I want to add that to my repertoire or her repertoire. But for me, it's markdowns on occasion. That's the only thing I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually do. I did for a long time with delist, relist, and then I stopped, and I didn't do it for most of last year. But this year, I've started doing it again, and I stopped doing it because I didn't notice that big of a difference. But
Hmm.
this year, since I've been doing it, I'm actually seeing some of the older stuff moving out, which is pretty cool. Until the one guy bought 7 vintage glass pieces from me all at once, and I had to ship out 7 vintage glass pieces and hope that they make it in time. But I think I'm good. It's been delivered. I know I packed it really well, and so far no negative feedback or returns, so should be good. But yeah,
Good.
I've been doing it, and I do it. That's the first thing I do when I come inside from having my coffee. I come in here to the eBay room. That's the first thing I do is in and sell similar.
Well, speaking of glass, I just got in a shipment from Keith, and I listed the decanters and stuff between like $30 and $60 each.
Nice.
But one that do you remember that asparagus
Yeah.
glass piece you sold me? Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's worth like $300.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Okay. I was
just
I was
got that
worried.
listed.
I was worried you're gonna say it broke. Did everything arrive
No, no,
okay?
yeah, everything's
Okay.
great.
All right. Perfect. Okay.
I wanted that piece so bad. I didn't look
Yeah.
it up. It was just so cool looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I was
think
like,
I got
man,
it
I
for
want to bid
nine
on it.
bucks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you got it pretty cheap, and I forget what happened. Why? Oh, it wouldn't. You know how the Apple glitch sometimes if you haven't updated, it wouldn't let me
Yeah.
bid, and I was getting aggravated because I wanted that thing bad, man. It just
Yeah.
looked cool, but nice, man. That's awesome. Nine
And as
bucks
Yeah.
far
into
as like those
300.
ceramic glass pieces go, it has a pretty decent sell through rate too. I think there's like 48 listed and like 19 sold. So I'm sure it'll sell decent.
Yeah. Yeah. I had looked that up. I thought it was pretty good, and but that stuff I got from a friend who was like he gave me all this glassware that his mom had in their antique shop. I'm like,
Yeah.
I got it for free. Let's share the wealth and bring it out to first class treasure. So I'm glad you're gonna make some money on it, Jake.
Yeah,
And
no,
I'm
it'll be
happy.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an awesome pickup there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my package from Keith today too, or one of them. I
Cool.
know I probably got another one coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shane, one of those tanks you sold me already sold too.
Oh, nice.
The miniature one. It had some pieces broken off of it, like you described, and so
Hmm.
if it was like complete and good condition, it probably would have went for like 50. But I listed it for 29.87, and someone offered me $20 for it. So
There you go.
Nice.
there you go.
Can take that.
Good stuff.
Very nice.
Yeah, no, like District and Whatnot are great places to source. They really
Oh
are.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I used to buy from you when you were doing whatnot, your brush poppers and all that stuff. I'd buy from you because you get a good deal and you could still flip that stuff on eBay and make pretty good money.
Yeah, no, I was getting
Yeah.
them for like 6. You were buying them for like even like 18, sometimes like 14, and then you're selling for 60 to 80. So
Yeah,
we're
I
all
mean
making
Yeah.
money.
it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good stuff. So I do the delist, relist, and the markdown strategy. I've been weaving in and out of both for the last 3 years, and I've actually think I've decided that delisting, making changes, including the price, and relisting, I think is better than markdown sales. Just from my personal anecdote, when I do the historically, I've done every 90 days, I drop it 15%. If they're still there 90 days after that, I drop it 25%. If they're still there 90 days after that, I drop it 33%. But now I've just realized if I just delist, mark everything down, if something's like 24.87, I'll mark it down to like 19.87 or 22.87. If something's already like $20, I'll mark it down like $3 or something like that. So it's anywhere between 5 and 25% depending on the item. And I actually just find that I get more sales. I get more same day sales as well, and just more sales overall through that method, which was against my hypothesis. So
Yeah.
I'm always pumped whether I'm wrong or right. If something works, I'm going to do it. So
Well,
Yeah.
Jake, I know the reason behind the number 7 you put on your prices. Have you ever told Keith about that?
Oh, I don't know
Why
this.
you do it?
why do you think I do it? I think I've said it on a couple lives.
You've said it before that the number 7 is like a trigger for people when they're shopping online and stuff. Something about the number 7 will trigger them.
Yep.
I
So
forget exactly what you said, but yeah.
So typically, numbers that end in 7 sounds like a sale to someone, because we're all conditioned to see that things are $19.99, $499.99, not 500. But then when those numbers are discounted, it typically ends up being $41.67. And so if you already price something at 87 or 77 or 67 cents, people just psychologically already think that it's on sale when it's really full price.
Okay, I like it. I like the little
Yeah.
psychological edge there. That's good.
Plus, it's everyone that you're competing with that's listing at $19.99. If you're at $19.87 and people filter cheapest price, then yours is going to pop up and they're going to grab yours instead.
Yeah, makes sense.
Psychologically,
like
people really love saving 12 cents too.
Yeah.
Like it really just
Right.
makes people feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, guys, we want to thank a very long list of sponsors that are helping out the Reseller Island podcast. We have a few members that we want to thank. The first, our guy J Ride Flips. Thank you so much for being a member of of the YouTube channel. And Archie Biscuit Butt, who makes 1.5 YouTube videos per year on average, definitely deserves a subscription if you guys haven't already. He may be coming out with a video in the next 2 to 12 months, and you don't want to miss it.
That's right.
And that's the list. We got two members. So
Hey, that's awesome.
if any of you guys are interested, at any tier, we'll go ahead and announce your guys' names on the podcast. And if you have a YouTube channel or if you do live sales or an eBay store, we'll also talk about where to find you and promote your business and things like that. But
Absolutely.
right now,
That's right.
we got myself and Archie.
That's killer. Thank you, Archie.
Yeah, absolutely. Archie's been killing it over there on District.
Archie's got one of my favorite videos of all time. That parody he did of Kevin Commonwealth Flipper. Pretty much, I think he covered a few different people, maybe Death Pile Picker and stuff, but he did it like 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Today, still to this day, one of my favorite videos I've ever watched.
I've never seen that. I gotta watch back at that. I never saw that.
Didn't someone react to Kevin's video and then Dave react to that person reacting to Kevin's video, and then you reacted, Shane, to Dave reacting to that person? How'd that go again?
Yeah, so it was Kevin, then Dave reacted to Kevin, then Matt Flips, who used to go by Matt's Profits Pursuit.
Yeah.
He made a video reacting to Dave reacting to Kevin, and then I made a video reacting to Matt reacting to Dave reacted to Kevin, and it was just all silliness.
Yeah, that's funny. Dude, Matt, I miss Matt. He doesn't make too much content anymore. He'll post something on Instagram every once in a while.
Yeah.
But he made an announcement like half a year ago that he was going to take a pretty long break. So.
Yep. Yeah, he's focusing
sometime
on his reselling because he wants to be able to walk away from his 9 to 5. That's basically what he told me.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Yeah, Matt's a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if he can pull that off with the big, I think he has what, 7, 9 kids, something like that.
He's got a whole baseball team, that dude.
Yeah. So yeah, if he can pull off full-time reselling with a wife and 7 or 9 kids, that'd be awesome. And hopefully he can do that and then start making content and talk about it again. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Matt, if you're watching, get on it.
Yep. Grind it out.
Well, sweet. What are some of your guys' best sales this week?
I sold a vintage pair of Ping I2 orange dot irons. They were missing, I think it was missing the 6 iron or something. It was missing one of them. So it was 6 clubs for, I think, $120, $100, somewhere around there.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
You do
Yeah.
pretty well with like missing club sets.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
I
I'll have
do.
to keep that in mind because a lot of times I'll get like a 4 through 9, but it's missing the 7.
Mhm.
And I just list the 4 by itself, the 5 by itself, and like that. But
I
maybe I'll
I
start.
do that a lot of times,
Mhm.
especially with newer clubs because the
Yeah.
newer clubs will bring a better price individually. Um, but with the vintage stuff like the old pings and things like that, I'll generally just keep them as a set, and they do pretty well.
Yeah.
Because somebody
Nice.
they'll buy the set for me for $100 and then go pay $20 or something for the missing club, and they'll have their full set for a pretty decent price.
There you go.
Yeah. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, for me it was I had some a lot higher dollar value sales than this, but this sale always makes me happy because you guys familiar with what a mutoscope is? It's
No.
called MUTA scope. But it was the old like mechanical machines you would have in like the 20s. It would play like a spinning reel and showing like a film, like a photo film. This was Babe Ruth in 27, like training and boxing.
Oh, sorry.
So I have all the original photo. I bought like half of the reel, and I've had like 400 of these images of Ruth. So I'll like put them up every couple weeks, and I sold like 2 of them for $40. So, but I've been doing that for several years, and they'll sell 1 or 2 a month for $40. Yeah, so the kind of stuff that's a quick relist because I've had them listed for so long. Just keep rolling them out.
Oh yeah, I just searched Mutascope Babe Ruth, and yeah, they're all popping up. That's nice.
Yeah, it's a type 1 photo of Ruth, but it's not like there's better type 1 photos out there. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, they're pretty cool.
So
Those-
Keith, I've heard you say that a bunch of times when
Yeah.
you're showing photos in your live streams and stuff.
Mhm.
What does type 1 photo mean?
So type 1 photo is a photo made from the original negative at the time the negative was, contemporary to when the negative was originally made. So
Okay.
that would type 2 would be if like they made a second print of it off the original photo. Then there's type 3 and type 4. But so original photo from the original negative made it at the correct time, not like 40 years later.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was curious about that, and I meant to ask you about that before, and I completely forgot until you just said type 1 again.
Yeah, there was a big resurgence. There was a big emergence of type 1 photo collectors, like maybe a decade ago that came out, and people grade them, get them slabbed by PSA. But it's like early type 1 photos of Ruth Cobb. They can bring crazy money. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Nice. Well, boys, is it warm enough where you're at, Shane, for yard sales yet?
Yeah, it's supposed to. Matter of fact, my wife came home from the grocery store and all today, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with what a thermocell is, but it's to keeps mosquitoes away. It runs off of butane, and it has these little things you slide in. It heats up, and anyways, she brought home a bunch of refills today because it's about that time. The mosquitoes are about to be swarming down here. But yeah, so yesterday, the whole East Coast had that big storm, come through and monsoon on everybody. And behind that, it was high winds, but it was much cooler air. So today, the high was 58, but only because of that storm. It's been in the 70s. It's been really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, in
Yeah.
Vegas it was in the low to mid 70s, but now it's
Oh,
back
that's nice.
down into like the high 50s and 60s again.
Yeah.
But
Today
Yeah,
was
I'm
my
looking
yeah.
forward to it, man.
Yeah, that'd be nice at the spring when the spring finally hits with those. I mean, I know you're going to hit it sooner than we will. Probably me and Jake. I mean, it probably won't be for a little while, right? Yard sale season. I finally get out to the flea market for first time in a couple months. It's been like frigid, icy every morning, but it was really windy out there. But still, nice to get out there. A lot of dealers.
a lot of dealers, and it was what, like 35 degrees?
It was probably like 40, but really windy. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it felt colder than that. Yeah.
I was laughing, Keith, in one of your last videos, whatever one had the word frigid in the title, I
Yeah.
could tell you were freezing.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
I could hear it in your voice. I could see it in your movements, like your
Yeah.
hands and stuff. I was like, this poor dude is freaking icicle right now.
Yeah, that was in the teens that day. And that was like 7 o'clock in the morning, day after Christmas. Yeah, it was rough.
Oh man, dude, I hate the cold. I hate it so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I used to prefer it, but as I get older now, I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure why I ever liked winter. And it doesn't get as cold here as it does where you guys are. So, but I traveled for the first 18 years of my career. I traveled all the time. So I've been to Philly. I've been to Utah. I've never been to. I don't know how it's the one state west of New England I've never been to, and I lived in Colorado for 2 years. But yeah, so I've been in Grand Forks, North Dakota in the winter. I've been in
Mm.
Wyoming and Montana in the winter. I've been in some brutal cold places, but you know I've been back here for the past 9 years, no traveling. So I'm just used to this 35-degree winters we have. That's not terrible.
So you're like that country song. You've seen both Carolinas, seen the great Montana sky,
Yeah.
been up and down the coast a few times. What about London, Paris, and Paradise?
No, I've only ever gone to Canada outside of the States, and I mean that was just a Windsor casino, so it's still like little Detroit. It's not.
So you've been to 49 states, but only one other country?
Yeah,
Wow, that's
and my
pretty.
my job, I've lived in 8 different states, but yeah, my job just kept me moving for 18 years.
Wow.
That's also
It's impressive.
what got me out of traveling is I just got sick of being gone all the time.
Mhm.
Because I would
Makes
go
sense.
for like 90 days and come home for 10 or 12 days and hit the road again.
So were you
So
a truck
lot
driver or what?
lot of no, I built cell phone towers. So
Yeah.
I would drive out to wherever the job was, and our jobs were usually, a year or more long. We'd build like for instance, I was in Chicago back in 2011 when Chicago the Sprint network was being built for what they called um, UMTS back then. That's so like you got 3G, 4G, 5G, all this. I think we're in 5 now, but before that came out, it was UMTS, and way back in the day when I started, it was something called CDMA and GSM, and they got all these little acronyms, but it's just the type of technology that the cell phones are run off of. And UMTS was the first one to incorporate internet into it, and that's what we were building back then. But it was like a year and a half long project. So I'd drive to Chicago with my truck, my trailer, all my equipment, and then my crew. And then every 90 days or so, we'd all fly home, fly back, and just do that over and over and over again, drive to the next state and start again.
That's a
Yeah.
rough lifestyle. But you're away like 90% of the year. It sounds like. Right.
Yeah,
That's
18
takes a lot.
years. I started right after
Yeah.
my son was born. And so I missed pretty much 18 years of his life, besides I made sure I was home for the holidays and birthdays and things like that. But like
Yeah.
Little League baseball and football and things like that, I missed a lot of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was tough. Same thing with my daughter. My daughter was born 6 years after my son. And so she would have been 12 or so when I finally got out, so I missed a good part of her life as well growing up.
But now you're a full-time reseller. You can do whatever you want when you want, right?
Yep. Hey, I posted a picture on Facebook the other day. I was at the park with my daughter and my grandson.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was dope.
And, if I still had the corporate job, I wouldn't have been able to do that day, spend the whole day with them at the park. That was amazing.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I actually made a video last night. I make YouTube videos again, for those of you that were wondering.
I haven't seen it yet, but I saw the notification for it.
Yeah, so I said like the 8 things I wish I knew before I started getting reselling, and one of them was how much time it actually takes out of your personal life but how much time you can get back if you work really hard in the beginning and set up your processes. Because a lot of people complain, they're like, I can't go to my son's football game because I have to source and list and ship. But it can be all consuming. But if you set your business up correctly, you can play with your kids at the park and go to the Kentucky Derby. It's pretty sweet.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
What
Oh
about
man.
you, Keith? I know you got kids too, and Jake doesn't have any yet. But how's that play with you being full-time veterinarian as well as full-time reseller? Because you are. I mean,
Yeah,
there's no
I put the
part-time
hours in
to it.
for it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a balance too, but I still go to most of his. He's in the marching band, so I get to at least
Oh, sweet.
80% of the football games where he's performing at, and I was a chaperone when his band played in DC 2 years ago, and we went to Disney with his band. So yeah, I still make sure I make time for that, and he's all about like video games too. So at least we have that in common. And YouTube, he's a big YouTube watcher, so we definitely have
Yeah,
some areas of crossover with what we like there. So yeah,
that's
Nice.
cool.
he's 16, so a couple more years, and then once he's out of college, then maybe I'll join the full-time ranks like you guys. But still got a
Uh-huh.
couple years left of that.
Also, he's 16, so he only kind of likes you right now.
Yeah, no. Most of the time when I go in his room, it's like get out. I'm like, all right. At least I said hi. Yeah. So
Does he ever watch your YouTube stuff, or does he just like watching
a
video game
little
stuff?
bit. Yeah. Occasionally he surprised me on my live, which I didn't like. At one time, I happened to be showing an item I got for him for Christmas on the live because he
Oh
never
shoot,
watches, and he happened to be watching that night. So
Oh
yeah,
wow.
but
that's
not
funny.
not a ton of it. He doesn't watch a ton of it.
My nieces and nephews watch my channel, but they're the only ones in my family that do. My sister, who was in, has joined over at First Class Treasures now.
Yeah,
She's
she
she's
won a
been,
giveaway from me.
yeah, she did. That's
Oh,
right.
cool.
She wants to start dabbling in reselling, so now she's watching my channel. So I told her to check you guys out, and I told her watch everybody because
Yeah,
we all pick differently, we all pick different things, and you can learn so much from stuff like Keith. I want to talk to you because I got that package from you in the mail today, and all that ephemera stuff. I don't know how to list it or anything. I opened up an Etsy account because I feel like I want to list some of that super vintage stuff over there.
Sure.
And I don't know anything about Etsy, so like I got questions for you whenever
Yeah,
you have
absolutely, man.
time. But
Yeah, no problem.
but yeah, that's why I was trying to tell her. Like I learn something new almost every day from watching these other YouTubers, and they've become my friends. Most of them, I can say that about. So it's worth taking the time to watch and learn from everybody you can. And when she does decide that she wants to jump all in and actually start reselling, she's been buying a few things here and there, but unlike me, I kind of just jumped in without any knowledge, and so I had to learn a lot of things the hard way. So
that's
she's got
definitely how
Yeah.
I am though. I'm
yeah,
a fire, aim, shoot. Like I don't. I'm not ready,
Yeah.
aim, fire. I jump in and then make the changes and repair everything that was broke along the way.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's how you learn too, right? When you do it, either you make a mistake or you buy a big collection and you realize you shouldn't buy this anymore. You learn as you go. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah,
So
yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
And then I married the ultimate ready, aim, fire. Like Brinley
Oh,
is
okay.
like calculates everything, thinks about it, what she's going to do before she does it, over analyzes and becomes anxious about it before starting. But usually,
Yeah. So it's a good
Wow,
yeah,
balance
she,
then.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we balance each
that's
other
cool.
out for sure, especially in business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll schedule a trip to Mexico and not realize that my passport is expired. So, oh, it's the worst.
yeah. That's a definition exactly.
Yeah, it's a good time. But yeah, we got some good makeup in Vegas.
Ah, cool.
Like it was awesome. I went to this sale and it was like a husband and wife, and you could tell like one side of the yard was her stuff and one side of the yard was his stuff. And he had some really nice watches, but he wanted like $600, $85 minimum for some of them. And then he wanted like $40 for his on cloud shoes and 50 for his Hey Dudes. And then on her side, she had a ton. She had some Gucci eyeglasses for $5, some Coach purses for $5, and then a ton of NARS. If you guys haven't heard of NARS, NARS is pretty good. And then just a ton of MAC. Like I got like 8 of these from her. You guys will see it on my newest J Right
Yeah.
Picks video. All of those for 25 cents, and they all
Oh,
sell
wow.
for like, depending on the color, 25 to $40. This one goes for 40.
Wow.
So
That's
that was a
awesome.
good sale.
Yeah.
Didn't buy anything from him, but sure bought a ton from her.
In my experience, it's usually the opposite at a yard sale, right? I feel like the husbands wants to get the stuff out, but that I guess
Uh-huh.
everyone's a little different.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good stuff. Oh man, I'm so
Yeah.
excited for yard sales. The first like year of my eBay reselling, I almost did exclusively thrift stores, and I convinced myself that that yard sales like kind of sucked in my area, and then the next year I'm like, oh no, yard sales are really good, and so this year
Yeah.
I'm really excited to hit yard sales ultra hard.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I've hit. I think I went to one yard sale, an estate sale, and what these people called a moving sale this
Mm-hmm.
year so far. And the best I did was at the one yard sale. I went and I only spent $4. I bought 2 bobbleheads. Jake Myers, Road to the Show or something like that. Bobblehead, minor league baseball. He plays for Houston now, I believe. They had 2 of them, and I was like, well, for $2 each, I'll take a chance on these things. And they comped out at I saw a sold comp for 90, and there was only 2 listed. And I said, well, I'm going to list one of mine at 90. I'm going to list one of mine at 70. And sure enough, there was one listed for 50. It sold, and then my $70 one sold. And now there's only 2 available, and mine's at 90. And I think the other guy might be he's either just above or just below me. But I bought 2 things from one yard sale, and killing it on those 2 little items, 2 little bobbleheads. One sold for $70. So
That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, I found some other things at the estate sale and the moving sale. Unfortunately, the moving sale had actually happened the week before, and I didn't notice it or didn't realize it. So by the time I got there, that weekend I went, there was not much left. I think I walked out with like a Jake purchase. It was some kind of a Sing Stitch or something big karaoke speaker.
There
They
you go.
wanted $5 for it, and I think I sold it. It's not a high end speaker, but I still made like $30 after fees and all. So, and then the estate sale, I just got a couple of things. I don't even remember what they were.
Yeah, I'm just pumped for baseball bats. I feel like I do the best with baseball bats during yard sale season. Because
My
I guess
neighbor, go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go.
I was going to say, my neighbor, I don't know if you saw this or remember me talking about it. He brought me a baseball bat. He tows cars for a living. And if nobody claims the car for 90 days in the state of South Carolina, they now own that car or something.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how it works out. But he's like, man, I found this baseball bat in the back of this trunk. Do you want it to sell? And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And I figured, 50, $60. It was brand new, brand freaking new. This was a $400 baseball bat. I forget
Yeah.
which one it was, but it was a Icon something or another, drop 3. I don't remember. And it sold like that for I think I had it listed for 425, and I took a best offer of like 390.
Yeah, I think it's Rawlings that does the Icon series.
Yeah, it was Rawlings. That's right. It was a black and like either gold or green color, like super dark green. Anyways, killer bat, killer sale for free. You can't beat it.
I'm gonna pull up my screen here because I got this bat today at a thrift store for $5. Share screen. Get to the eBay one. I found this today. That metal one right there for $85, and it's the
Nice.
34-28 official softball size. Got it for $5 at a thrift store. But like, I swear every yard sale season, every single Saturday I find at least an $80 bat for $5. It's awesome.
Nice.
So I'm
That's
super
awesome.
pumped for that.
I buy a
I,
lot of bats, but that I've never actually found a really good one out in the wild. I had that one from my neighbor, but the ones I generally find are like $30-$35 bats.
Yeah.
So I still pick them up if they're $5 or under, because every year they sell.
Yeah.
So
It
why not?
absolutely has to be the right length and weight though. Because sometimes you'll
Yeah.
find a bat, you're like, oh, they're sold comps for $80. And it's like, well, the one for the official softball league sold for $80, but your 27 ounce 17 your 17 ounce 27 length bat is never gonna sell for $18. It's tough.
Yeah, I always look up, like you said, I put all those keywords in and the length and whether it's a drop 3, drop 10, whatever it
Yep.
is. I put all that in there when I'm checking comps because I noticed that if you just search the brand and model,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have all kind of crazy numbers
Yeah.
showing, and you're like, how do I, make a decision? You got to put those specifics in whenever you're doing your comps for sure.
Yeah, I remember before my dad started reselling, he would go to yard sales for me and just get me stuff. And since I've moved, he's opened up his own eBay store and does the exact same
cool.
thing. And he's doing really well. But he was
Awesome.
so excited because he found me an Easton Red Line. And an Easton Red Line, like 3330 or a 3431, can sell for like $700, like $450 on the low end.
Wow.
And he was so excited, and he brought me it, and it was a 2717, zero sold comps. I listed it for like $30, and it just stayed up for 2 full years, and then I just took it down.
I've sold a ton of bats, but I've never sold a modern bat. It's all like vintage wood bats.
Yeah.
But do you guys like for the modern bats that you buy, if they're used, do you do anything to clean them up, like steel wool or anything, or you just list them as they are?
I like to use a magic eraser.
Yep.
It takes everything off of them.
Okay.
Yeah, Magic Eraser is great. So what I usually just hit it with just a regular LA Awesome spray from the $1.25 store.
Okay.
Sucks that we have to say $1.25 now, inflation. But and then that gets like all the big gunk off if there's anything, and then just a Magic Eraser, just like sometimes the ball will leave that black or red streak.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Magic Eraser will just take it off. It's nice.
Yeah, I use the magic eraser on when I'm cleaning golf clubs, the shaft, because a lot of the times that's where the thrift stores will put the stickers and it, leaves residue and stuff or whatever. But sometimes clubs are just dirty, and I have this like plastic bristle hard brush that I clean the grooves and all that, the head. But then on the shaft, I always take the magic eraser and it cleans it up really nice.
Nice. On the subject of ball marks, if you guys ever find like a game used like Major League Baseball like wood bat, leave those ball marks alone because people love those ball marks. That's the sign of the home run flying out, the lace marks. So
with that, all right. Now that you've said that, I've heard you say before that you were going to try to take signatures off.
I did
of some of the bats, and that blew my mind.
Well, yeah, because that bat was a 1920s game used. It was a Baltimore Orioles player from the 20s, side written. So I knew he had used that bat and sent it back to Louisville Slugger saying, "I want this bat made for me down the road." But somebody had that bat signed by players in like the 70s, so it was like they didn't go together. So I did take the autographs off with alcohol or acetone. I forget which one it was, but they came off very easily. Sharpie signatures.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I didn't realize that. I was like, why would he take the autograph?
I thought you were
off
saying
of
you
the
were
bat?
gonna like take it off the bat and then like press it onto a shirt or something.
That would be nice to do, but yeah, no. It just was they didn't go together. They were like 70 years off in terms of like it was just weird to get that bat autographed by those players. So it hurt the value of having those autographs on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys ever have the opportunity to get a signature from an athlete or someone, make sure it's a blue Sharpie, because you can pull the blue Sharpie marker off and then put it onto anything you want, and then you can.
Oh wow.
That's why I learned this because Russell Westbrook, really huge polarizing player. You love him or you hate him.
Yeah.
He actually gives away a ton of shoes, and he signs a lot of autographs and does a lot of community work. and this kid came up to him and said, "Will you sign my?" Russell Westbrook actually took off his own jersey after a game and gave it to the kid, and then the kid handed him a blue Sharpie, and he's like, "I can't sign it, man," but he grabbed a black Sharpie and then signed it for him. Because you can like rip off using the blue ink somehow.
Oh wow,
I
never
didn't
even
know
heard of that.
that.
That's very good to
So
know.
yeah, so like celebrities and athletes, they won't sign in blue Sharpie. It's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
But yeah, if you can get them to, and then you can find some Russian site that will teach you how to do that stuff. Do you guys know how to enter the dark web?
No clue.
No, I've never
You get-
even considered it.
Because you guys know it's like an actual like place, where you can go.
Yeah.
It's a wild place. I've been on it before. You just have to use
wow.
you use a VPN and different things, but like it's actually really, really intense over there. Like
Yeah.
yeah, you can buy like organs, and you can like hire people to take out your ex-boyfriend or something. It's nuts.
Is it laid out like websites, or is it like laid out like a giant message board? I wouldn't even know.
So it's exactly like the internet.
Okay.
But it's discreet and hidden, and you have to use a VPN, and you can only buy things using Ethereum and Bitcoin and untraceable funds and things like that.
Yeah, wild.
Wow.
Yeah. I wonder how many eBay comps are on the black web.
Yeah, it's true.
So everyone's using WorthPoint. You just got to hop on the dark web and see what your good stuff is really going for.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's pretty wild. But yeah, I definitely don't
I've never
recommend
even
anyone hopping on the,
considered it.
Well, so have you guys ever typed in Flipper into YouTube? Maybe you were looking up like a Commonwealth Flipper video or something like that, and then you see this little USB hard drive called the Flipper. Have you guys ever seen that? Yeah, so there's this USB hard drive that I can just stick into a computer. So like these are really popular for scammers. You can just stick it into a computer, and then if that computer is connected to a Wi-Fi source, then you can use like all of the computers connected to that Wi-Fi source. So like if we were all in a hotel together, I could just stick in my Flipper, and then I could steal all of your guys' credit card information and everything that I wanted. Like dude, the world is a crazy place, man.
Oh yeah.
And so someone tried to do that to Chase Bank. They like went to the Chase Bank right off Wall Street in New York and got access to the employee Wi-Fi, and then started to try to rip everything from them. It was wild. But JP Morgan said, "No, sir." Dude, speaking of finance, go ahead, Shane.
I was just gonna say I've had my identity stolen once before, and that's a nightmare.
That sucks.
Yeah, happened a long time ago, and they were wire transferring money out of my account in $500 increments, and thankfully my bank caught it right away and shut everything down. But somebody in Tunisia, Africa, was about to get a nice payday.
Tunisia, Africa, huh?
Yeah.
I went to Columbus, Ohio to do summer sales with a friend, and one day we were just playing basketball at the LA Fitness, and he just had like basketball shorts on with his keys and wallet and phone, and so he just took that out of his pockets and put it just like on the side of the court, and then someone like stole his wallet, but he didn't know because they left the keys and the phone, and so he's like, "Oh, okay, maybe I just left it at home." And then we got home, and it showed at a Kroger's like 37 miles away that someone spent like $1,800.
Wow.
And it was on his debit card, so he didn't get any of the money back either.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
funny.
no.
It's awful, but just if you guys knew the guy, it would be funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just sitting here, while we've been on the podcast for 44 minutes, I've gotten like 7 notifications that Tesla is down 7%. Airbnb that I'm invested in is down 6%. The stock market, the SPY is down 2% today. That's a pretty big day. So yeah, the stock market is definitely correcting, which scares a lot of people, but it's really exciting for me because I'm a long-term investor, so I'm excited to buy up a ton of stuff at a good deal.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
It's
if it's coming down, you can, people you might be able to get something you couldn't afford before, you know, if it's
Exactly.
coming down a good bit. So that's cool.
Now, my wife and I talk about this all the time. Like, we understand that it would be really devastating if the stock market crashed and the housing market crashed and if the economy went into a really bad position for a lot of people. But like for us, it would be awesome. You know, like we have our eyes on a house for like 670,000, and if things dropped by 35% next month, and we could get that house for under 500,000 or even 400,000, sign me up. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'd be freaking sweet. But yeah, no, the good old stock market struggling a little bit today. But I don't know. Do
Yeah.
you guys have any stock investments or things like that?
I don't. No, not personally.
No, well now you got me curious because I know we had options
401k.
with Mostech
Yeah.
to buy in. I may have bought into Mostech's
Is Mostech public or was it just a private?
public
How do you spell it? Mostech, M-A-Z?
Mastec. It's Moz is the last name of the guy who created it. So it was Jose Moz
Hmm.
is the CEO right now.
Oh, good stuff.
His dad
So
is
you
the
had
one who
stock
started the
options, but
company.
you didn't have like a 401k that you were.
I do have 401k. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have that too. Yeah, yeah, but I don't go out looking for my own. I mean, I did briefly like years ago, but you know, time is short to know what I'm doing in that realm. I should learn about
Yeah.
it more.
If
Yeah, I'm
it's
kind
like
of in the
something
same boat.
super interesting to you, I think you can go out and manage your own portfolios and stuff. But if
Yeah.
it's not, like it's just 401k autopilot, and then
Yeah.
when you turn 67 or 71, you're like, oh sweet, 1.6, let's do it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the ultimate
I
goal.
I had
Yeah.
the Merrill Lynch app on my phone, and I would just look at it, every few months and see how things were doing. If am I
Yeah.
losing money, am I making money, and I guess I was in some pretty safe options on there because every time I looked, it was always gaining. I was never losing or anything like that. So,
I mean, the last 20 years has just been like insane. Like we had that little dip in. I mean, not little. We had that insane dip in '07, and then a little dip in 2020 with the pandemic. But aside from that, ever since like 1999, after that .com burst, it's just been ripping ever since. A lot of people are predicting that we have a '07 crash right around the corner again, but they've predicted that every single year since then. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, but like I said, like I'll embrace that with open arms. It's millionaires are made in depressions and recessions. So if you're doing things right, but anyway, back to reselling. I have this Netgear Arlo for $50. Someone just offered 40. Think we're gonna take that.
Yep.
Seems a respectable offer. Yeah.
Going
I
to
picked up a
Frankfurt.
brand new Netgear. Hold on, let me see if I have the picture. This one wasn't worth picking up. And it blows my mind. Not really, I guess, but this was oh no, it's a Linksys. Sorry, I thought it was a Netgear. Linksys Etherfast cable DSL firewall router, 4-port, brand new. And they're listed for like $17.99 shipped.
Yeah.
And they wanted $10 at Goodwill, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'll leave that sitting on the shelf. But it was brand new, still in plastic, and I was like, all right, this is something I'm going to take a look at. And everything I comped out, I put back on the shelves today. And that one store I went to, it's right across the street from the UPS I use, and I had to ship out those golf clubs. And so anytime I go to UPS, I hit that Goodwill, no matter what time of day it is. And I usually find a lot of golf clubs in there, but the golf clubs have been pretty slack this week. I think I've bought 2 all week long.
I bought Shane today that we both have card ripping channels as well as our regular channels, but I bought like 30 of these Sailor Moon past present card packs. And I don't know, Jake, I don't know the sell-through rates as far as calculating it, but these, I looked this up and there was none listed and 3 sold, which seems like a pretty good sell-through rate.
No, that's really good.
Yeah.
300%, right?
Yeah. But they were like $13, $14 each, and I got like 30 of them. So it's like, I think I paid $70.
That Sailor Moon is a pretty popular anime series, if I'm not mistaken. People really like that one.
Yeah, even a Sailor Moon Walmart shirt will sell for $25 on Dipped It or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Sailor Moon. I found some. There's one I've never heard of called Ruby. It's RWBY, and there's this
Oh, yeah. I
plush
remember you.
manufacturing company named Rooster Teeth. And I got like 7 of their plush. One of them sold for $70, and the other 2 more have sold between 30 and 40. And there's like 2 or 3 more that are listed for like 20. So yeah, anime's good.
Yeah, I can see it because the people who love that stuff are growing up, and they're gonna have. I can see it doing better even down the road when they have more expendable income. You would
Yep.
think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't have to ask their parents,
Yeah, yeah,
to buy it for them, and
yeah.
they can now, afford the $70 Ruby plush.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I was at Savers this morning, and there were three bros between the age of probably 15 and 17, and they recognized me. So we talked for a second. They're like, "Oh yeah, no, we sell on Depop and eBay. Like we buy on eBay like every week, personal." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, like a lot of people on YouTube don't think that like Gen Zers and millennials are buying on eBay, but we do, don't we?" And they're like, "Yeah, we do."
Yeah,
They're
that's
buying
cool.
some Carhartt. I'm like, "Why are you guys at the thrift store to sell on Depop? Because you guys are just like buying all of the stuff on eBay." You're like, "Oh yeah, we're not making any money, but it's fun." he's
That's funny.
like, he's like, "Yeah, I got a Carhartt jacket for $20, and I sold it on Depop for 14 because it was fun." Like, okay.
I mean,
Oh,
that's not the business model I'm shooting for, but whatever works.
and when you got daddy's money, you're good to go, man.
I want to
Yeah.
have fun and make money.
Unless, maybe they, in their mind, they wore it for a month and then sold it. So at least they got their clothes for the month. But
There you
maybe they
go.
didn't do that. Who knows?
Oh man, hopefully you didn't buy it at 20 just to resell it at 14.
Yeah, yeah. That would be a questionable choice.
Some people's children. Well, my sister-in-law turned 25 today, so we're gonna go get some lunch for her with her, just my wife and I, and then we're going to dinner on Saturday night. Where do you guys
Cool.
like go out to? Do you guys have like a pretty heavy rotation that you guys go out with your wives, or do you guys like try to new things almost all the time, or what?
I've,
We
yeah. Go, Shane.
Well, I was just gonna say we really don't go out. Like if we're out grocery shopping or something, and we just like, you know what, let's grab dinner while we're out. We generally kind of hit the same spots over and over again. But when we do go out, if we're planning to go out, like say tomorrow night, let's go to dinner tomorrow night, then we'll try to go somewhere that one we've never been to, or two, you know, it was amazing the one time we went. Let's go try it again. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, if it's just some random Tuesday or something, we generally will hit. We have a place called Carolina Wings in town. It's right in front of the Goodwill I was just talking about. They have really good wings, and we'll hit that place up, like every other week or something when we're out. But if we're planning something, we try to go somewhere a little different.
Yeah. We don't have any specific plan we make or a certain schedule, but recently we've been doing our. My wife's been helping me with my district shows. She'll like mark the stuff sold as I hand it to her, and we'll go out to lunch after that. So that's been sort of nice, where we'll
Oh, yeah.
work for a couple hours and then go out to lunch. There's a lot of nice restaurants right in my town that I've never been to. She's been to all of them with her friends, so she knows
Yeah.
where the spots to hit. But
Yeah.
how about you,
good
Jake?
stuff. We have like a pretty. I mean, we don't go out to eat a lot, just because my wife like we just eat like pretty healthy and stuff, and
Yeah.
there's not a lot of healthy options out there. But there's this really cool place for those of you in Utah called Sushi Monster. The one in Farmington Station. The owner's name is Ling Ling. She's dope. So like my in-laws, they go there like all the time, and so the owner knows them. And she's like, "Oh, hi," every time we come in, and then she calls them the old couple and my wife and I the young couple, and she's like always trying to hand us $40 gift cards. We're like, "No, we're here to support you. Stop giving it to us for free."
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, Ling Ling. Shout out to Ling Ling. You'll never watch this podcast, but
We've got this. We do oysters a lot here at the house. We'll steam oysters here at the house or at my sister-in-law's house or something. And there's seafood market about 30 minutes away from here. And this little Asian lady owns it. And if you call her, it's the funniest thing. She's mean as can be, man. She's mean as a snake, bro. You'll call and say, "Hey, do you guys have oysters?" No, click. And
Oh
that's
wow.
the call. Like she'll hang up on you,
So I think
you know, and she'll say, "Yeah, click," and you just get one word, yes or no. She's
That's
not
funny.
got time to have a conversation with you. But we have some pretty amazing sushi places here in town, so we do like to go out for sushi every now and then.
that lady sounds like the oyster version of the soup Nazi from Seinfeld.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Get the
Yeah,
oyster
yeah.
Nazi.
No soup for you.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people listening right now are like, oh, that's not the best business owner practice. Like, she should answer those questions and get people to come to her restaurant. But there's so many resellers out there that if they get one question about an item, they'll block.
Block.
It's like,
Yep.
So I was just on This Week in Reselling with the Nashville Flippers. If you guys haven't checked out their channel or that podcast, you should. But yeah, we were talking about this. Like, in sales, questions are good. If someone's asking you, like, what's the pit to pit measurement on this? It's because they actually want to buy it if it'll fit them. But if it doesn't fit them, then they're not
Yeah.
going to buy yours. But
Yeah.
people will get like that question and they'll like immediately block or like ignore them because they don't have the time. It's like, well, you were just complaining that you only had 2 sales last week, but you don't have the time
Yeah.
to answer a pit to pit measurement. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
two people messaged me while I was out today. One guy wanted a couple pictures. So I got this another. I feel like Jake purchase. I got this vintage Taylor Professional large mechanical scale, and it sells for like $40 to $50, and I paid $7 for it at Goodwill. And I took photos, but this guy's wanting a very specific photo. I have no problem doing that. Sure, I'll get you an extra
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
And then a lady wants to know a pair of jeans. I usually take a photo of the materials tag showing whether it's 100% cotton or whatever. And somehow I missed it on these jeans. And so she's asking if I could let her know, what the jeans are made out, if they're 100% cotton or not. And I don't see the problem in that. Like I told him, yeah, I'm out. Let me, get back to the house and I'll get that info for you. Shoot you a couple pictures or whatever. I don't see why that's an issue for a lot of people.
Yeah. And when you do answer that question, like I answered a question like similar to that on Etsy, and those people are so appreciative that because a lot of people probably ignore it, like you're saying, Jake. They find that question annoying and they block them and they move on, they ignore it. So I mean, because of that, when you answer the question and you give good customer service, it sort of stands out in that buyer's eye, I think.
I think so too. Because I wouldn't want to be ignored if I was asking a question.
No. Yeah, and I know Jake on that. That was a great podcast on Ray's channel, but he talked about where you can sort of get a sense when they're like the third or fourth question in. All right, now this guy's probably gonna be a problem, right? Now there's a return looming down the road if there's too many questions that come. But that's
Did you guys miss me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you notice I was gone?
Yeah, we kept rolling though. Yeah.
Dude, right at like when people are getting their tax returns back, this is the worst time to own an S corporation because, dude, I get like 7 to 15 calls every single day about insurance plans.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. I just
Oh,
got
and
called
you
got
film
through
with
them.
your phone too, right? So
Yeah, well, I have 2 phones, but I have them both connected. So if you call one, you call both. So I forgot to put this on
oh, gotcha.
Do Not Disturb, but I'll do that now. But yeah.
So I got some buttons here, and I know Keith, you buy a lot of buttons, or you have in the past because I've been buying some from you.
I still do, yeah, for sure.
I've got some here. I don't even know where these came from, but I was going through some stuff and I found them. But I thought this one was cool. I don't know what that's from, but it just says "Ghost Out" on it.
Huh.
And it's
cool.
vintage. But I got one I was curious about if you guys know what this one is. So it says you'll never forget your first quickie, but I'm assuming that's some kind of maybe business or something. I don't know if maybe it was in your guys' area. I've never seen that quickie.
Yeah, maybe like a Jiffy Lube kind of deal, like a
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
but I thought that was funny. You'll never forget your first quickie.
Yeah,
That's a good one. No, yeah, that's perfect little like live show fodder, I guess you
Oh
could call
yeah,
it.
when people get a
Yeah,
chuckle
that.
from it, they're likely to pop on it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I have a little ethical question for you guys. I had a like a reselling ethics question. I bought a group of like 20s basketball programs about 6 months ago on my channel. They were all like slightly different condition. They weren't in good condition, but they were like slightly different enough that I couldn't do like a multi-quantity listing.
Yeah.
So I listed one, sold it. Listed the second one, sold it. Listed the third one maybe a couple months later and sold it. And like a month after that, I listed the fourth one, and the third buyer messaged me and said, "Oh, how many of these do you have?" I said, "Well, I think I have like three more total."
Uh-huh.
And he responded back pretty nastily and said, "You should have really disclosed how many you had in the listing." So that was my question. Like, if first, I don't think that's my obligation to do that, but what do you guys feel
No.
about that? I mean,
No,
You know,
I don't.
if I have 3 red Corvettes at home and I'm selling one of them, like
yeah,
I'm gonna like I don't have to disclose the other two to you.
yeah,
Like I'm
exactly.
selling
Yeah,
you the one that has the most miles, and I'm selling you the price that is associated with the mileage and the wear on the car. Like, yeah, who cares?
yeah. All right, that's what I
Yeah,
felt. Yeah.
I have those pet companion robots, for
Hmm.
instance. I bought 24 of them. I list 6. When the last one sells, I list 6 more. That's how I've
Yep.
been doing those.
Yeah.
I actually started off. I think the first one I let run down from 6 to 1, and then I added one more because I didn't want people to see. Oh, he's got 6 of them. You know, I could probably wait a couple of weeks, and so I was like, all right, let's try to make it look like I only have 1 or 2, but I mean, I still got like 16 of them left. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
see any. I don't see why you would have to disclose that, and I don't see why it would matter.
Well, bringing
I
it back
yeah.
to like the Coco Motions from last week,
Yep.
like I said, I find like 30 to 40 of those per year. I just use one listing and I just copy the listing and I use the same photos every time because when I clean them, they look exactly the same. Like
Oh,
there
nice.
might be
Okay.
one extra little streak on like a bottom piece or something like that, but like I've never had an issue with it. And then every once in a while, I will find one that the glass is like significantly more murky or whatever. So I'll take individual
Yeah,
pictures for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, multi-quantity listings, if they all look relatively the same, you're good to go. Like even with remotes, like I got like 18 Dish 40.0 remotes and they all looked identical, but they all had like different scratches on the back, just like very, very minimal regular houseware scratches. And they're all in like different directions and stuff. So I guess like the ultimate scammer could have said like, "Oh, he didn't send me the actual remote in the photos or whatever." But I've
yeah,
just I've never had that issue.
Those are the best things. That I mean, when you buy them, you feel so good when you know you already have that listing ready to go. Right? It's like
Yeah.
90% of the
yeah,
battle's already done for you.
Well, I have
exactly.
this is a you guys ever seen these vintage humidifiers? This is a Kaz.
Oh.
This is the Kaz
I'm
370. I've
pretty
never
sure I've
found
used
these.
that one when I was a kid.
Yeah, the Hanks craft and stuff. People always are like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool! I had that when I was a kid." But I have one of those listed right now. I've sold one. I have one listed, and now I just found another one. So I'm like, "Oh, sweet, yep." And then I just listed it right there in the store. Just sell similar. And,
Oh, awesome.
you
There
know.
we go.
But yeah, I've never found those ever in the last 3 years, and now I found 3 of them in the last week. It's weird how that happens.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's kind of like if you look for yellow cars, you'll find yellow cars. You know? Like
Yeah.
I've
Not the first
probably
time I've
seen.
heard you say that.
You know, if I've seen these, if I found 3 of these this week, I've probably passed on 40 of them over the last 3 years. I just didn't know that I was looking for them. You know.
Oh yeah. That's why it's always a learning game with reselling, right? You know, you add new stuff to your Rolodex of stuff that you know what it's worth, and you know you'll do well with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff
it
for
does
Yeah.
sure.
that. If you look for yellow cars, you'll find yellow cars. The only thing that I've noticed that doesn't work in is with my herping, because
You look for snakes, you don't find snakes.
yeah, there you go. There's a lot of times you go out and you don't find any, and
Uh
I'm
huh.
pretty good at finding them, but uh, they're starting to come out now. Found my first one the other day. Made a little Instagram video of it, but
The
Dude,
corn snake.
yeah, the corn snake. So, but yeah,
I really
that
enjoy.
don't always work with snakes. You can't just go out and find one every single time.
Yeah, this is kind of off the wall, but it's going to come back. I really enjoy working, so I plan on working in my 70s and 80s. Obviously, probably not like 75 or 80 hours like I'm doing right now, but when I'll retire one day, but I'll still work probably pretty hard even though I'm retired. But I'm just excited to go out on beaches and into the woods with a metal detector, man.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I got a couple metal detectors when I was younger for Christmas and stuff. And I'm like, I'm out here in Utah, and of course there's like vintage, like Utah's been around since the early 1800s. But like I see people in North and South Carolina just like pulling up bullets and like, oh yeah, no, we went to this war site in Gettysburg and found a ton of coins and a ton of bullets. I'm like, oh, dude, that sounds awesome. I'm so excited to do that.
Yeah,
The metal
Yeah.
my little brother and a buddy of his, there's a big group called South Carolina Bottle Hunters,
yeah.
and they go out and dig up old privies and stuff because here in South Carolina, especially Charleston, it's been here for 300 years,
Mm-hmm.
and before garbage cans and things, they would bury everything, so they have these 30-foot tall holes in the ground, and everything would just get from the cities. They'd have these privies, and people would just throw their trash, so they go digging them up and looking for bottles. And we also go digging for fossils in creeks. And
Yeah.
Charleston is, it's a historical town, um, basically because of the Civil War. It's where the first shots of the Civil War were fired. Um, so there's a lot of war history there that you could dig up, and we go digging up megalodon teeth and stuff like that, and come
Oh, that's
across
so sick.
so much cool, like relics from the war and stuff. It's pretty awesome. I said Charleston's a historical town, but people down there say it's a drinking town with a historical problem.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's what they say.
Well, it's sort of funny because I
Yeah.
have a metal detector too, and I don't do it frequently, but I have done it a fair amount. And it's sort of funny how we all have that interest, and we're all resellers, which you're really out there treasure hunting anyway, right? If yard
Exactly.
sales,
Yeah,
so it makes sense.
yeah, it does.
Yeah, dude.
I never put
Good
the
old
two together
metal
though.
detecting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
No, there's like an audience for that, especially on shorts. You know, you can get millions of views just digging stuff up with your metal
Oh,
detector.
have you seen
Yeah.
those guys magnet fishing? They kill it
Oh
on
yeah,
YouTube.
dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep.
They
No, yeah,
kill it on YouTube.
the psychological, just like understanding, like people want to see, like the all like so many questions are firing off in your head subconsciously when you see that, and then it's like, oh, gotta watch till the end to see what they find.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, is that the good old Dr. Pepper Black Cherry?
Yeah, you guys got to try this, man. So
Hmm.
it's blackberry, and this
Blackberry.
camera, the focus, there you go,
There you go.
blackberry. I don't know if this is limited. I'm assuming it is, but we just started getting it around here, and you guys know I like to drink whiskey. Crown has a blackberry whiskey that I tried at the. So every year when we go to the Kentucky Derby, one of the first things we do, we all get there, check into the casino to our hotel rooms, and there's always a bottle in each room. They love us. Um, and last year it was the blackberry Crown, and none of us had ever seen it, and that stuff was amazing. And so as soon as I saw this, I was like, "That's got to be good," especially if you were to mix it with a whiskey and make a cocktail out of it. But it's pretty good, man. And I drink zero sugar. I don't drink a lot of them. My wife likes them too, and she's a big Dr. Pepper fan. She very rarely drinks soda. Um, and she used to drink like Dr. Pepper all the time, and she stopped because it's not healthy. But when these
Not at
came
all.
out, she tried one when I brought one home, and she's like, "Holy cow, that's good!" So now there's a 12-pack on the counter. So, but yeah, they're good. I don't like I said, I don't know if they're limited edition or not, but I know you can make some pretty good money on those types of things for sure.
Yeah, well, I've told this story on my channel before, but I'll tell it again here. So Dr. Pepper, they did the Dr. Pepper coconut soda. It
I
was
never
released
got to
last
try
year.
that.
Yeah, so what happened was they released it to all 50 states, and they saw that sales were pretty crappy across the board, except for in Tennessee and Utah. And so sales were like up compared to the other 48 states in Tennessee by like 60%, but they were up in Utah by like 850%.
Oh,
So
Wow.
they took all of the cans from they took all of that soda from all of the other states and then just shipped it all here to Utah. So our Walmarts had all of them. And so I was buying them because a lot of people did like it in Maine and did like it in New York and Florida, but now you can't get it because it's only in Utah. And so I was buying them three 12 packs for $9.99 at Albertsons, and then the 12 packs were selling for $40 plus shipping. So I made like a few grand off of that.
oh,
That's
Then that
awesome.
all dried up soon too.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
I
I
was
looked for them. I must have found out after they pulled them out because
yeah.
I wanted to, when I first heard about them. I think I was still with the locker room at the time, and it was Alex or Ben. One of them were talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds good," because I like coconut, and I was like, "I want to try to find one," and I couldn't find them
Yeah.
anywhere.
They were all in Utah, man.
Yeah,
That's wild.
I think
I
I
should have
still
looked
have
on Jake's
one.
eBay store.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they're all sold out. And then like so I was selling 12 packs for $40. And then I also would just sell two cans, two 8-ounce cans. And I think they were selling for like 1887. And those sold
Wow.
slower, so I was selling more boxes. But then every once in a while, 333 divided by 12 times 2, that's like what? 60-cent cost of goods. No, not even that. Like 25-cent cost of goods and getting 1887 plus shipping. That was good stuff.
Yeah,
That's wild.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's
it's
because
funny the things people will buy because they can't get their hands on it anymore. You know.
that's
Yeah.
our job, man. That is our job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, you guys got any announcements or anything going on?
Not that will have happened after this episode comes out.
Yeah.
all of my stuff going on is happening today.
Yeah, you did your I mean, I guess we'll talk in the future past tense, but you're doing your free giveaway show today, right?
Yep. And check this out. Found these today. So they're little keep calm and carry on page markers for books.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah.
cool.
I found like 6 of them, 99 cents a piece, going in the giveaway show.
There
There
you
you
go.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
my Brinley, she has a Kindle, but she also just really likes to read books. So
That's
she
how I
has
am.
Yeah, so she has a couple different bookmarks and stuff. So
I
hopefully we can
I
run one of
bought
those.
a what was it called? The Nook Color back in like 2010 when they first came out. It was the first reader that you could get that was in color. And I hated that thing. Absolutely hated it. The one thing I did like about it is if you ever came across a word that you weren't familiar with, you could touch it on the screen and it would give you a definition and all this stuff. That was cool. But yeah, I grew up reading books and there's nothing like holding that book in my hands, and I don't know, the smell of the pages, I don't know what it is. I just love reading books, and I hated the reader, the tablet, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, those paperback books definitely have a smell. They sure do.
Yeah.
It's not always a pleasant one, depending on what house it came out of and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
People that chain smoke in their house, stuff like that.
If you guys want to increase the amount of money you make on eBay and reselling, one of the easiest things you can do is stop smoking in your house. You will get way fewer returns, way more return customers, and satisfaction guaranteed. You'll make a lot more.
Yeah.
And you'll save
Absolutely.
money because you're not buying cigarettes all the time. But
Yeah. Jake, do you want me to do the comment of the week? You want me to hit that?
Oh yeah,
We,
yeah. Comment
yeah.
of the week. We forgot about it.
Yeah, so we have Be More Saxy, which I love that name. Pretty. I
That's
guess
a great
Be more
name.
sexy.
Maybe a saxophone player there. UPS is the worst. They upcharged like 20 of my golf clubs, $20 extra. Apparently, my box was a quarter-inch longer than I entered. Awful
Yep.
was their comment. So
I wonder about that because I ship a lot of golf clubs, UPS, and the 48 by whatever, whether it's the 5x5 or the 6x6, 7x7, if you say 48, that box is 48 and a quarter. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
always a little bit bigger, but there's a huge cost difference if you can get below 48. So if you get, 47,
Yep.
the cost of that drops like $10 for that one little inch.
Yeah.
But those boxes are over 48 inches. By the time you fold those flaps down, you've added a quarter inch at least. And you know how they are. That you have to scale up. If you're putting it in at 48 and it's 48 and a quarter, you got to mark it as 49, or they upcharge like crazy. But I've never had that happen. But I managed to get every single one of mine below 48 inches.
Nice.
So that
Yeah,
could
no,
be
if
why.
you guys have that space, between the top of the box and the golf club, don't fill it with packing paper. Like, cut it down so that way
Fold
you
it
can
over.
get under that 48 inches.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
and that's what I try to tell Dave, because Dave ships a lot of golf clubs and he's been doing a lot on live selling, shipping golf clubs. And I watched in his video and he was packing some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this dude is just throwing money away, because I shipped the golf club I sent today. Well, I sold another one besides the set. It was a vintage Callaway, I think it was Big Bertha 99 or something, but
Good old Big
30
Bertha.
like 36 inches long. So
Yep.
by the time I get it boxed and cut down and everything, it usually comes out to just over 37. So I mark it as a 38 inch. Dave is using the 48-inch box and not cutting anything down.
Yeah.
I sent that club out. It cost me $7.49. Dave would have paid closer to 20 because he's not cutting out.
$21, $18, things like
Yeah,
that.
that is, I commented on, and I guess maybe I need to call him or something, but I'm like, dude, you have got to cut those boxes down. You are throwing away money.
No, I mean, Kevin just told him that in the last Trash to Cash episode.
Yeah, he
So,
did.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I left that comment and Kevin replied to me and said, "Amen." Because I was like,
Yeah.
dude, you're just throwing away money. You got to cut those boxes down.
No, and same thing with like really any item. So like if you guys have a subwoofer and you put it in a box that ends up being like a Home Depot medium box. I use those quite often. It's like 16 by 18 by 12, I think. And if you put something in there and then you can get it under 36 inches, so 12 by 12 by 12, if you can make it say like 12 by 11 by 12 or 12 by 8 by whatever it is, the second that it gets over 36 inches is where things start to really go up. So like a lot of people are like, oh, it's not like I think I'm going to start. So I went really hard on sell-through rate for like a whole year on my YouTube videos. I think this year I'm going to go hard on it's worth the time. Like, cuz I hear in this community all the time, it's not worth it for me to sell anything under $25. It's not worth it for me to cut down these boxes. It's not worth it for me. It's like, if you have something that's 37 inches and it's shipping 1,000 miles, it's going to cost $27. And if you can get it to 35 inches, 12 by 11 by 12, it will literally ship for $9. It's, and
That's what
like,
I
if you, it's
try to
insane.
tell people. The weight of the item does not matter nearly as much as the measurements, because those dimensions are everything right now. Those pet companion robots I have, they fit perfectly in a 10 by 10 by 10 box, which is actually
Perfect.
11
That's
by
the
11
best.
by
That's
11.
the best reselling box is a 10 by 10
Yeah,
by 10.
I love it.
them.
But the box that the robot's in is only like 6 inches, so I always cut it down. It's only 4 inches. Somebody might say, just put some packing paper in there. Yeah, but that 4 inches saved me $3 by cutting it out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see why people don't do it. You're throwing money away by not resizing your boxes, and it doesn't take long at all.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I've noticed it's that third measurement that if you can get that one really small, that's what saves you the most. Because even if you have like an 18 by 14 by 4, it's going to be $9. But if it's an 18 by 14 by 8, whatever it gets it below 36, it's still going to be like $17. But if you can get one of those measurements to like 4 or 5 or 6, so like receivers, they're always like go in a 6-inch tall box. And so I'm even able to ship out like 48-pound receivers thousands of miles away for $26. But if it's 8 inches or 9 inches, it almost doubles. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yep.
definitely pays. You probably use a little more tape cutting down, but it's going to save you for in the long run, right? I'm sure.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
But you also got to make sure that you put the accurate dimensions
oh yeah, yeah,
because UPS, this is why we're talking about it, will charge the crap out of you.
yeah,
Just
yep,
Yeah. I round up
destroy you.
every measurement to the next inch.
Yeah.
Unless it's
yeah,
clearly spot on. If it's
yeah, yeah,
clearly 12 inches, I leave it at 12. But if it's even slightly looks like it might be 12 and an eighth, I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
that's 13. Because
yeah,
I don't want them, to charge back. Because here's the thing, guys, you get a shipping discount when you buy your labels through eBay.
Yeah.
But when they hit you with that chargeback for wrong dimensions, you don't get a discount. You're paying full price
Full
yeah.
on
price.
whatever
Yeah.
they deem you owe them. So get it right beforehand and
Well,
save yourself some headache.
so as like shady as this is, you got to realize too, if you have a box that is perfectly 12 inches and then it gets shipped to, if it gets shipped from Seattle where the truck was open and it got a little bit of moisture on your package, and then it gets
Expansion.
shipped to Florida into the humidity and it expands a quarter of an inch, you're going to pay for it. So
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
I always recommend to do like an inch. So like if something is 11 and a half inches, I put 13 inches just because I'm like, I'm not going to deal with it. It's tough.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah,
So I put everything, I do a lot of stuff in a 10 by 10 by 10 and I just put 11 by 11 by 11. But if it's
Yep.
like 10 and a half, got to do 12. 10 and a quarter, got to do 12. Things like that.
yeah.
It's
Smart,
tough.
right?
Keep your money, guys.
Yeah,
But yeah, man. Shane, you said you got something going on in like 9 minutes, right?
Yep. Sure do. I gotta
Sweet.
gotta throw some ribs on the Traeger, man. The wife wants ribs for dinner. And I got
sounds good.
the giveaway show starting 30 minutes later, so I got a small little window to get it started.
Well, they say that
Yeah.
is the true sign of the middle class, is a Traeger. So
Yeah. Well, I got mine. I was going to say I got it for free, but I didn't. My father-in-law actually gave it to me for helping him sand and or not sand, pressure wash and restain his back deck. So he's a
Nice.
very, I'm not going to say wealthy. He's doing well for himself in the sales department and has been. That's his whole career. And he had, I think, 3 Traegers on his back deck. Not being used, and he's like, yeah, just take one of those,
just take
because he
one.
gets stuff like he sells to these companies and they give him stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got, like I said, he had like 3 Traegers at the time, and as well as tons of other stuff. He had this drill bit set. I was trying to get it from him so bad. It was like a $3,000 drill bit set for a little container like this big with like 40 or 50 drill bits, but they were high end stuff. But yeah, so I helped him out and he gave me that Traeger. Otherwise, I wouldn't have one. I'd go with something cheaper.
Yeah, and so
Uh-oh. We lose Jake?
It looks like you froze there. Unless maybe got a phone call again, but I think the last time the screen went black, right?
Yeah. He did say his phone's been blowing up.
Yeah.
It's funny too, because on the Reseller Locker Room podcast, that happened to Alex every episode. He would freeze up.
Yeah, I was listening